Welcome to a brand new episode of Building Modular Dreams. I'm Andrew Copley, Business Development Partner at AJC Modular, and I'm joined by our Sales Manager here at AJC Modular, Mark Byers.
Good to be back, mate. Always a pleasure jumping into these conversations. And this one's a cracker, because I don't think we've ever had so many people ask the same question all at once. Should I build now?
That's it. This is episode 8, part 1, and we're diving into something that's on a lot of people's minds right now. Is now the right time to build? The short answer, if you're thinking modular, it might just be the smartest time in years.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, this is a conversation we're having with more and more clients. With everything happening in the economy, interest rates, inflation, government incentives, people are cautious. But they're also realizing that modular might be the best move they can make.
Let's kick things off with a simple truth. Time in the market beats timing the market. And right now, modular gives you the chance to act fast and smart. That combination, it's rare.
Absolutely. Because traditional builds, they're slow, prone to delays, vulnerable to cost overruns. So if you're waiting for the perfect time, it might pass you by before your slab's even poured.
But modular, it's different. It's rapid deployment, lower risk, and crucially, it lets you lock in today's prices, which, given what we're seeing in building costs, is huge.
So today we're going to unpack why now might be the best time to get started, whether you're a homeowner, an investor, or looking to help family. This one's for you.
Let's start with the money. In traditional builds, quotes can shift. By the time you get permits, delays, site prep, it's months later, and prices may have jumped.
With modular, you get a full quote up front, and it holds. No surprises. Because we build in a controlled environment, we're not dealing with unpredictable site costs or extended labour hours.
That means you can budget with confidence. And if interest rates are making you nervous, think about this. Faster builds mean less interest accrued during construction. That's real savings.
We've had clients save $8,000 to $15,000 just from reduced holding costs alone, not to mention starting their rental income earlier or moving in months sooner.
Here's the reality. Property prices have steadied. Land is still in demand, but there are opportunities for buyers who act now. Waiting 6 months could mean missing out.
And materials costs? They're trending up again. We locked in a bulk order just last month because we knew a supplier price rise was coming.
That's the benefit of modular. We can buy smart, build fast, and pass that predictability on to clients.
It's also worth mentioning, if government incentives are on the table, grants, tax breaks, interest subsidies, modular lets you act fast enough to qualify before they vanish.
We had 3 clients last quarter who jumped in to meet a grant deadline. If they went traditional, they'd have missed it. Let's not forget the non-financial reasons to build now. We've seen families separated for years because of housing delays, waiting for the right time to act.
Modular changes that. If you've got aging parents, adult kids needing space, or a growing family, you can get them into a quality dwelling fast.
And I'm talking beautiful homes, not compromised cabins. We're delivering architecturally inspired, energy-efficient, designer-finished homes in 10 to 12 weeks.
That speed changes lives. It's not just about investment, it's about family, independence, stability, peace of mind.
We had a client recently who said, "We finally feel settled." That's powerful. That's what we're building.
Let's talk interest rates. People are hesitant right now, but here's the kicker. If you wait and rates drop in 6 months, you're not actually ahead, because build costs and property prices will likely rise.
Exactly. Meanwhile, you've missed 6 months of rental income or mortgage principal you could have been paying down.
Modular lets you start now, finish quick, and refinance into lower rates later if they drop. Now, that's a smart play.
And if rates stay the same, you've still built faster, saved on construction interest, and locked in today's prices. You win either way. Another reason to act now, supply chains are tightening again. Labour shortages are back in the news, but modular factories like ours are insulated from most of that.
Right. We've got salaried teams, fixed materials, in-house logistics. We don't wait on a bricklayer who's behind schedule. We keep rolling.
That consistency means we deliver when we say we will. That's becoming rare in the industry, and clients are noticing.
And that reliability? It gives you leverage, better planning, smarter financing, less stress.
And peace of mind, which is something money can't buy. So let's recap. Why is now a smart time to build modular? Locked-in pricing means no cost creep. You beat market movements and future price hikes. Government incentives are time sensitive. You get rental income or lifestyle benefits sooner. You reduce holding costs and stress.
And the big one, you build with certainty. At a time when so much feels uncertain, modular gives you control.
In part 2, we're going to look at real stories, clients who built in the last 12 months, and how their decisions are playing out today.
It's one thing to talk strategy, it's another to see it in action, and we've got some brilliant stories to share.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you in part 2. Welcome back to part 2. In the last episode, we broke down all the reasons why now is a smart time to build modular. But today, it's all about proof. We're diving into real stories from real clients who made the leap.
That's right. These aren't theoretical numbers or projections. These are case studies from people who built with AJC Modular in the last 12 months. And the results speak for themselves.
Let's start with Jake and Liv. Young couple, mid-30s, bought a block in the Southern Highlands. They were on a tight budget, had a newborn on the way, and didn't want to rent while waiting 18 months for a build.
We delivered a fully finished 2-bedroom home in under 10 weeks from contract to install. They moved in before their baby was born. Their words? Modular gave us our life back.
And financially, they came out ahead too. Their repayments started earlier, but they saved over $9,000 in rent, plus they didn't have the cost of moving twice.
Let's contrast that with David, one of our investor clients. He added a modular granny flat to his existing property in Newcastle, spent just over $150,000 and had it tenanted at $490 per week within 10 days of delivery.
That's nearly $26,000 a year in income. His ROI on that unit was faster than anything else in his portfolio, and he's been investing for 20 years.
And let's talk about speed. We had clients in regional Victoria who wanted to build the multi-unit setup, 3 dwellings on one site. If they went traditional, the forecast was 12 to 14 months.
We completed it in 6. Fully delivered, connected, and ready to lease. They had tenants in before Christmas and cleared over $70,000 in gross rent within the first 4 months.
Here's another example, Sally in Queensland. Her mum was downsizing and needed a home in the backyard close to family. Sally called us in October, her mum moved in January.
Not only did we beat their expectations on time, but the quality blew them away. We're talking full insulation, timber look floors, stone bench tops. It's not just fast, it's beautiful.
What stands out in all these stories is that clients got certainty. They weren't waiting on weather, they weren't juggling trades, they got a timeline and we hit it.
And it's worth noting, the feedback isn't just about the building, it's about the experience, the onboarding, the VR walkthrough, the updates during production. Clients felt looked after.
One guy told us, "This is the most seamless building process I've ever been through." He'd built twice before. Said it usually felt like babysitting the builder. Not this time.
And these outcomes aren't lucky. They're the result of a process. We've built systems from quoting to final delivery that remove the chaos and keep clients in the loop.
I also want to highlight 2 retirees who used modular to downsize. Sold their big house, bought a smaller block, and installed one of our Comfort Series homes. They banked over $300,000 in equity and halved their living costs.
That's a retirement strategy you don't hear enough about. Downsizing without downgrading.
And the flow-on effect? Lower utility bills, easier maintenance, no strata hassles. They told us they wished they'd done it 5 years earlier.
So whether it's an investor chasing ROI, a family needing space, or retirees planning their next chapter, modular is delivering real results for real people.
In part 3, we're going to shift gears and show you how modular stacks up against traditional building on paper, side-by-side costs, timelines, and risks.
Because once you see the numbers, you'll understand why our clients are winning.
See you in part 3.
Welcome to part 3. In the last episode, we showcased real people who built with us and saw life-changing results. Today, we're getting into the numbers. We're putting modular and traditional building methods head-to-head.
And we're not pulling these numbers out of thin air. This is data from clients, banks, and the broader market. You'll see why more people are turning to modular, not just for speed, but for value.
Let's begin with one of the most common comparisons, the cost of a standard 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom secondary dwelling.
A modular version, fully installed, turnkey, ready to go, averages around $155,000.
Traditional build, you're easily looking at over $310,000 for the same specs, and that doesn't include the cost blowouts or delays that usually come with it.
That's the headline number. But the real magic comes when you factor in everything else. Time to build, holding costs, rental yield, and the emotional toll.
Let's say you go traditional. Build time is estimated at 10 to 12 months, add weather delays, trade shortages, inspection reschedules, and suddenly it's 14 months.
With modular, we're delivering in 10 to 12 weeks. That's a full year of rent you're either collecting or missing out on.
If your rent is $500 a week, that's $26,000 in income gone with traditional.
And don't forget, construction interest. Most loans are drawn down gradually, but with a longer build, you're paying interest over more time. On a $300,000 loan, 12 months of interest could run you $15,000 to $20,000.
With modular, it's more like 3 months, so you're only looking at around $3,500 to $5,000 in interest.
That's a $15,000 swing. Combine it with the missed rent and you're nearly $40,000 behind before you've even moved in.
When we say our prices are fixed, we mean it. Clients know their costs up front. There's no budget creep.
With traditional, budget is often a guess. Site costs balloon. Materials fluctuate. You get stung for extras you didn't expect.
Case in point, we've seen traditional builds quote $310,000 and end up at $370,000. And that doesn't include landscaping, fencing, or even the driveway in some cases.
Our clients get a turnkey quote with every inclusion listed. That kind of clarity is rare and clients love it.
One of the myths we still hear is modular must be cheaper quality. Couldn't be further from the truth.
We use structural insulated panels, Bondor roofing, 6-star energy-rated windows, and high-end joinery. It's quality from top to bottom.
And because it's built in a controlled environment, we avoid the risks that come with on-site builds, like water damage during construction or inconsistent craftsmanship between subcontractors.
It also means we're constantly inspecting and refining every part. Nothing is hidden behind a rushed job.
Investors love modular for one big reason: cash flow. If your modular build is delivered 9 months earlier, you're earning rent while others are still laying bricks.
Let's run numbers. A $155,000 modular unit rented at $500 per week earns $26,000 per year. Add your cost savings and you're often cash flow positive within year one.
A traditional build, double the cost at $310,000, has a longer break-even period, especially if delays or extra costs are involved.
That's why smart investors use modular as a compounding tool. The faster you build, the faster you reinvest.
We've talked money. Now let's talk peace of mind. Most of our clients say the same thing. It was easy. They felt in control.
Traditional building can feel like chaos. 1 week you're on track. The next, the site's flooded, the plumber's delayed, and your budget's out the window.
Modular gives you predictability, less stress, more certainty. That emotional ROI, it's priceless.
And it flows into other parts of life. Investors get back to growing their portfolio. Families stop stressing about timelines. Everyone sleeps better.
When you line it all up, modular versus traditional, the difference is massive. Not just in dollars, but in time, experience, and long-term outcomes.
And this isn't theory. This is what we're seeing every week at AJC, clients who are building smarter, not harder.
In part 4, we'll be going behind the scenes. We'll show you how we achieve this speed and certainty without cutting corners.
It's all about process. And next episode, we'll lift the curtain.
See you there. Welcome to part 4. By now, we've shown you why modular is financially smart, and we've compared it side by side with traditional building. But today, we're pulling back the curtain on how we actually do it.
That's right. Because one of the questions we get asked most is, how can you deliver a high-quality home in 10 to 12 weeks when a traditional build takes over a year? And the answer: systems, structure, and scale.
Let's start at the top: design and approvals. We use standardized core layouts that can be customized within a pre-approved compliance framework. That alone saves weeks of back and forth with certifiers and engineers.
And we've got in-house design and council coordination teams. That's huge. It means you're not waiting on external draftspeople or chasing third-party town planners.
Once approvals are locked in, our production timeline kicks in. And this is where modular really shines. Our factory operates like a precision machine.
Think of it like an assembly line, but for homes. Every trade has a schedule, every material is pre-ordered, and there are no weather delays. Rain or shine, we build.
For example, while the frame is being assembled, the plumbing team is already roughing in the wet zones. While cabinetry is going in, windows are being installed. It's parallel workflows instead of the traditional stop-start sequencing.
That overlap is what saves us time. And because the trades work together daily in a controlled space, quality improves too. There's less rework, less miscommunication, fewer mistakes.
Let's also talk about inventory and logistics. Traditional builds often suffer delays because materials haven't arrived or there's a hold-up with supply.
We've solved that by using centralized procurement. We buy materials in bulk, store them on site, and never rely on a just-in-time model. That means we're building while others are still waiting for their roofing to show up.
And because we're buying at scale, we get better prices. And that's part of what helps keep our pricing competitive.
Let's not forget our internal quality checks. Every module goes through a 50-point inspection before it leaves the factory. That's structural, waterproofing, electrical, and aesthetic. Nothing gets missed.
You'd be amazed how much that reduces defects on site. And it also gives our delivery team confidence. They know they're craning in a finished product, not a work in progress.
Speaking of delivery, people often ask how we install these so fast. The truth is, by the time it arrives on your site, 90% of the work is done.
Foundations are prepped ahead of time. Services are ready. All we need to do is position the building, connect the utilities, and we're done in days, not months.
For a 1 or 2 bedroom home, clients are usually walking through it the day after install. Try doing that with bricks and mortar.
And throughout the whole process, clients get live updates via our CRM system, photos, videos, and milestone reports. That builds trust and keeps them in the loop.
And let's be honest, traditional builds are stressful because of the unknowns. We've engineered those unknowns out of our process.
So just to summarize the key reasons we're faster without cutting corners: in-house design and approval services, factory-controlled build environment, parallel trade scheduling, bulk materials and inventory management, multi-point inspections, pre-planned logistics, and install.
Every step is deliberate. Every team member knows their role. It's not about rushing. It's about removing friction.
And friction is what slows down traditional builds. Rain delays, waiting on trades, material shortages, rework. We don't deal with that.
I also want to point out we're not building cookie-cutter houses. Each project still has custom elements. Clients choose finishes, facades, colours, and upgrades.
But we give them a controlled menu. That balance between choice and systemization is the secret sauce. Clients feel in control, but we keep production efficient.
And look, we're proud of our buildings. They're strong, stylish, and future-ready, but we're just as proud of the process because that's what really changes people's experience.
We've had clients say they'd never build again until they went modular. Now they're back doing their second or third project with us.
In part 5, we're going to look at what happens after the build, how our clients live in their modular homes, and why the benefits continue long after the keys are handed over.
Because modular isn't just a smart way to build, it's a smarter way to live.
See you in the next one.
Welcome back to part 5. So far, we've taken you through the why, the how, and the dollars and cents of modular building. But today, we're talking about what happens after the keys are handed over.
That's right. Because for most people, the build is just the beginning. And what we're seeing again and again is that modular homes deliver ongoing value well beyond day one.
Let's start with one of the biggest post-build benefits: comfort. These homes are incredibly well insulated, naturally temperate, and quiet. People often tell us it just feels better to live in.
We use insulated wall panels and Bondor solar span roofing, not just to meet compliance, but to outperform traditional homes on energy and climate control.
That translates to lower power bills, better acoustics, and a space that feels solid, safe, and modern.
Let's not forget the finishes. People walk into a modular home and expect to see shortcuts, but instead they see stone bench tops, premium tapware, soft close cabinetry, full height tiling.
In fact, we've had more than one client say their modular kitchen is better than the one they had in a $1 million house.
And that's not exaggeration. We design these homes to be lived in, not just built fast. Every inch is functional, beautiful, and easy to maintain.
Another big factor is flexibility. Whether it's an investment, a granny flat, or a primary home, these spaces adapt.
We've seen people start with a small home, then add a second module later, or turn a detached studio into a rental or Airbnb.
The ability to scale or repurpose space is a game changer, especially in today's economy where family needs, income streams, and living arrangements shift fast.
And because everything is pre-engineered, extensions are easier to plan. You're not knocking down walls, you're adding modules.
It's like Lego for grown-ups, but seriously, it makes home ownership feel more dynamic and less fixed.
Another thing people love post-build, the low maintenance. We use pre-finished panels, aluminium windows, powder-coated flashing. It's built to last without ongoing painting, sealing, or touch-ups.
That's great for investors too. Less wear and tear, fewer maintenance calls, better tenant satisfaction.
And if there is an issue, we've got a full support team. We don't disappear after install. Clients get a warranty package and responsive service.
There's also the emotional impact. People feel proud of their modular homes. There's no stigma. If anything, there's surprise at how good it looks and performs.
We had one client whose neighbour asked, when are they coming back to finish it? Because they assumed it was $1 million custom build.
That's the thing. Modular no longer means compromise. It means smart.
And that pride of ownership turns into referrals. We get so many clients from word of mouth because someone saw the product, lived in it, and couldn't believe it was modular.
Let's not forget ongoing savings, energy efficiency, lower water usage, reduced upkeep. It all adds up. One client told us their power bill dropped by 40% after moving into their new build.
And for retirees or families watching every dollar, that's massive. It's not just saving money, it's financial breathing room.
The way people use the space also matters. These aren't oversized homes. They're smartly designed. That means less cleaning, less heating and cooling, and more usable square meters.
Form follows function. And when every room has a purpose, the home feels bigger than its footprint.
We've also had families turn modular into multi-generational solutions. One client set up 2 modules side by side, one for them, one for their aging parent. Shared yard, shared support. Everyone wins.
Another turned a modular office space into a side business, hairdresser, dog grooming, therapy space. With council approval, the possibilities are endless.
Schools are getting in on it too. Temporary classrooms that don't feel temporary. Built for education, but fast and relocatable.
We even had a regional council buy 2 units for emergency housing. Within 3 weeks, displaced residents had clean, safe shelter.
So, from lifestyle benefits to community impact, living in a modular home is about more than the 4 walls.
It's about choice, speed, pride, and peace of mind.
In part 6, we'll go even further and talk about how our clients are using modular as a long-term investment tool, from dual incomes to retirement strategies.
Because this isn't just about houses, it's about building a better lifestyle.
We'll see you in the next one. In part 5, we explored the benefits of living in a modular home. Now, in part 6, we're shifting gears and talking about something just as powerful, how our clients are using modular as a long-term investment strategy.
This is where things get exciting, because modular isn't just about convenience, it's about leverage. And if you understand how to use modular buildings the right way, you can build real wealth faster and smarter than with traditional methods.
Let's start with dual income opportunities. Take a standard property, say a 600 square metre block with an existing home. Add a 2-bedroom modular in the backyard for $160,000, and you're earning an extra $500 per week.
That's $26,000 a year in passive income, and you're not touching the main residence. No renovation stress, no digging into equity to build up.
For many of our clients, that second dwelling pays itself off in 7 to 8 years. And after that, pure cash flow.
Compare that to adding a traditional build, twice the cost, longer to finish, more red tape. Modular wins hands down.
But it doesn't stop there. Some clients are taking things further, creating modular clusters, buying land, installing 2 or 3 modular units, and renting them out as co-living setups, holiday stays, or retirement retreats.
We had one investor on the South Coast do exactly that. 3 one-bedroom units on a lifestyle block. He rents them on Airbnb for $180 per night each. He's making $10,000 to $12,000 a month in peak season.
And what's more impressive, he recouped his entire investment within 18 months. After that, it's pure profit.
We've seen similar setups in Byron Bay, the Sunshine Coast, and even inland towns where tourism is booming. The return is undeniable when the product is delivered fast and finished well.
The speed of modular meant he was live within 3 months. If he'd waited for a traditional builder, he'd still be looking at framing.
And let's talk about retirees. We're seeing more and more downsizers selling their big home, buying a small block, installing a modular, and banking the difference.
One couple sold a $1.1 million house, bought a block for $400,000, and installed a modular home for $220,000. They walked away with almost $500,000 and halved their cost of living.
And because modular homes are low maintenance and highly energy efficient, their outgoings plummeted. No more $500 power bills. No more $10,000 annual upkeep.
And it's not just retirees. Families are doing it too. Multi-generational setups, parents building in the backyard, adult kids creating affordable living close to home.
These are real-world, everyday Aussies using modular to take control of their financial future. No gimmicks, no unrealistic timelines.
This strategy also protects equity. Rather than pouring money into uncertain markets, clients are building fixed assets with predictable income.
And with rent yields where they are now, modular often delivers stronger cash flow than buying a second house with a mortgage.
Plus, the exit strategy is flexible. You can rent it, sell the entire package, relocate the building, even sell the dwelling separate from the land in some cases.
And let's talk about depreciation. Modular buildings qualify for the same depreciation benefits as traditional properties, yet the cost is lower and the build time is quicker.
So not only do you get better cash flow, you reduce your tax bill. For investors, that's a win-win.
Then there's the financing angle. Modular fits well with equity release, borrow against the home, invest in a second dwelling and let the rent pay the loan.
A smart modular deal can pay off your primary home years ahead of schedule. It's about getting assets to work for you.
And we're working with brokers who specialise in this model, who understand modular timelines and funding structures.
Another growing trend? Modular builds on regional or rural land, lower acquisition costs, better yields, and with remote work on the rise, more Aussies are moving to lifestyle locations.
Add a modular home and you've got an instant home base or income stream. One client in Orange picked up a block for under $200,000, installed a modular for $180,000, and is already seeing $480 per week in rent.
He's cash flow positive from day one, and the entire property is already valued above $500,000. That's serious capital growth in under 12 months.
And with land availability shrinking in urban areas, this kind of regional expansion is only going to increase.
You can't ignore the risk factor either. Modular reduces exposure. Lower build costs mean lower borrowing. Faster builds mean less time in the market with construction debt.
It also means you're holding cash flow sooner, often within 60 to 90 days of contract. That speed matters when rates are volatile.
And while traditional construction might tie you down for 12 to 18 months, modular keeps you agile, more responsive, more scalable.
Whether you're a seasoned investor or just getting started, modular is a low barrier entry into property development.
And the best part? You don't need to wait years to see results. With the right plan, you can be cash flow positive in under 6 months.
In part 7, we're going to wrap the series up with the big picture, where modular is heading in Australia and why this movement is just getting started.
Because we're not just changing how homes are built, we're changing what's possible. Welcome to the finale of episode 8. If you've made it this far, congratulations. You're officially more informed than 99% of Aussies when it comes to modular living. But here's the kicker. Everything we've talked about, it's just the beginning.
Exactly. Because while modular has already come a long way, the real growth is still ahead. In this final part, we're going to map out where modular is heading in Australia and how it's going to reshape the way we think about housing.
Let's kick off with demand. It's skyrocketing. Rising construction costs, housing shortages, population growth. Modular is stepping in to fill a massive gap that traditional building can't keep up with.
And councils are starting to take notice. We're seeing pilot programs, streamlined approvals, and even local government funding to support modular builds, especially for affordable and emergency housing.
And we're not just talking about granny flats anymore. We're seeing full-scale family homes, duplexes, schools, aged care facilities, even commercial offices built modular.
It's not a niche, it's a movement.
But here's what's exciting. Technology is pushing modular even further. At AJC, we're using VR walkthroughs, AI-driven quoting systems, and precision manufacturing to create an experience that's fast, smooth, and customer-led.
Imagine being able to design your entire home in a virtual showroom, choose your layout, colours, upgrades, and then watch it take shape in real time. That's not 10 years away. That's now.
Then there's sustainability. Modular is leading the charge. Less waste, higher energy ratings, smarter water systems, and easier integration of solar and battery setups.
Traditional construction is trying to catch up. We're already there. We're hitting 7-star NatHERS ratings, integrating EV chargers, and building net zero ready homes.
And while others are talking about green building, we're delivering it in less time at a lower cost.
But let's talk scale. Right now, modular makes up a small percentage of total builds in Australia, But in places like Sweden, Norway, Japan, it's mainstream.
Australia's next. It has to be. The economics, the population pressures, the climate, it all points to modular becoming the go-to method.
And the stigma, it's fading. 10 years ago, people thought modular meant cheap or temporary. Today, they walk into one of our buildings and say, "This feels better than my last home."
And here's the part we're most excited about: custom communities. Imagine entire streets or estates designed modular from the ground up. Faster to build, easier to service, more energy efficient, lower infrastructure strain.
We're already talking to developers about doing exactly that. Not just selling homes, but creating neighbourhoods with character, walkability and architectural appeal.
And it doesn't have to stop at housing. We're seeing councils come to us for modular amenities, community centres, libraries, park facilities.
The appeal? Lower cost, faster construction, easier to relocate or expand.
And for families, it's flexibility like we've never seen. Start with one module, grow with your family, downsize without moving, adapt your home without starting again.
Modular is like living infrastructure. It grows and moves with your life.
And that's the future we see, a future where housing adapts to you, not the other way around.
Where owning a home doesn't mean 30 years of debt, where investment doesn't mean risk, where building is fast, smart and stress-free.
We're even seeing employers get on board, using modular to build staff housing in remote areas, mining camps, agricultural towns.
Modular reduces the barriers, it lets people live where they work, and it makes regional Australia more accessible.
Education is another frontier. Modular schools mean we can respond to enrolment spikes quickly, without sacrificing quality.
Same for healthcare. We're seeing modular clinics, dental centres, even mental health hubs going in regionally and fast.
And let's not forget disaster response. Modular buildings can be deployed within weeks after floods, fires, or housing crises.
We saw it firsthand in Lismore in northern New South Wales. Families went from tents to safe, air-conditioned homes in a matter of weeks.
Modular is agile. It's not just for planned developments, it's for when life happens and communities need answers.
And we're here for it. This isn't just a business, it's a responsibility.
So what's next? More speed, more savings, more clients choosing smart over slow. We're rolling out new designs, launching new finance partners, and working with more councils than ever.
We're exploring modular high-rises, rooftop additions, and hybrid models. The future isn't just single-storey homes, it's cities built differently.
And we're doubling down on what we do best, helping Aussies build their dreams faster, for less, and with more confidence.
Whether you're a first home buyer, a seasoned investor, or just looking for a better way to build, we're here to help you make it happen.
Because at the end of the day, it's not about the walls or the roof. It's about the life you get to live inside it.
Thanks for being part of the journey. And if you're ready to make your next move, you know where to find us.
Until next time, keep dreaming big and building smart.